OMG. Your soulmate cut someone off after finding out this about you. My beloved child. Don't skip. This message did not appear in front of you by accident, and what you are about to hear is connected to a moment that changed everything without you even realizing it. Somewhere, someone who once stood close to your soulmate believed they had complete control over the story. They whispered opinions, planted doubts, and tried to rewrite the way your soulmate saw you. For a while, it almost worked. The distance grew, the silence became heavier, and every unanswered question felt like another door closing. But then something happened that nobody expected. A single discovery shattered every false belief they had been holding on to. It was not a dramatic speech or a grand confession. It was one quiet moment that exposed the difference between truth and illusion. Your soulmate suddenly realized that the person they had trusted the most was hiding important pieces of the puzzle. The moment they understood that, everything inside them changed. They replayed old conversations, remembered forgotten details, and saw how every warning about you had been carefully designed to keep the two of you apart. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next revelation explains why your soulmate made a decision that shocked everyone around them. Without saying much, your soulmate began pulling away from the person who had been influencing their heart. At first, nobody noticed the change. The messages became shorter. The conversations became colder. Invitations were quietly ignored. Then came the moment nobody expected. Your soulmate looked directly at that person and realized they could no longer ignore what had been uncovered. They understood that every negative story they had heard about you had one thing in common: it was never supported by truth. Instead, they discovered kindness where they were told there was selfishness, loyalty where they were promised betrayal, and quiet strength where they expected weakness. That realization was impossible to forget. Don't skip, because this is where everything becomes even more surprising. Instead of confronting the situation with anger, your soulmate chose something far more powerful. They walked away from the voice that had been creating confusion for so long. They decided that protecting their peace mattered more than listening to endless doubt. And the moment they stepped back, they felt something they had not experienced in a long time: clarity. Suddenly, memories of you no longer felt confusing. They felt meaningful. Every small interaction, every forgotten detail, every moment that once seemed ordinary began fitting together like pieces of a picture they had never been allowed to see before. Now your soulmate is standing between the life they thought they wanted and the truth they can no longer ignore. The distance created by someone else is disappearing faster than anyone imagined, and with every passing moment they are becoming more certain that they made the right choice by cutting that person out of their life. But here is the revelation almost nobody knows. The person who lost access to your soulmate still believes they can change the outcome. They think one final move will pull everything back under their control. What they do not realize is that your soulmate has already crossed an invisible line inside their heart. Once that line was crossed, there was no going back. They have started questioning every story they were ever told about you, and each answer keeps leading them closer to the same conclusion. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The next chapter begins with a discovery so unexpected that even your soulmate will struggle to believe what they uncover next, and when that hidden truth finally comes into the light, nothing between you will ever feel the same again. A restless feeling refuses to leave your soulmate now. Every time they try to move forward, another hidden memory rises to the surface, revealing details they once ignored. The more they reflect, the more they realize that someone deliberately tried to shape their opinion before they could discover the truth for themselves. That realization has become impossible to escape. Don't skip, because what happens next is even more unbelievable. Your soulmate has quietly started comparing everything they were told with everything they personally experienced, and those two stories no longer match. The difference is so overwhelming that they cannot stop thinking about you. Even in the middle of ordinary moments, your name unexpectedly enters their mind. They wonder why they allowed another person's voice to become louder than their own heart. For the first time in a long while, they are beginning to trust their instincts instead of someone else's influence. That single change is transforming everything. Every passing hour makes them feel that they owe themselves one final chance to understand who you truly are without interference. Something huge is waiting for you because the closer they move toward the truth, the more impossible it becomes for them to turn back. Meanwhile, the person who was cut off has started noticing the silence. They can sense that their influence is fading, and that uncertainty has created a quiet panic they never expected to feel. They attempt to reopen old conversations, hoping to restore the control they once had, but every effort only pushes your soulmate further away. Instead of responding emotionally, your soulmate watches carefully, noticing patterns they had overlooked before. Small contradictions suddenly become obvious. Tiny details that once seemed meaningless now reveal a much larger picture. Don't skip, because this is the turning point that changes everything. Rather than reacting immediately, your soulmate chooses patience. They decide to gather every missing piece before making another important decision. Deep inside, they already know that the truth has been standing in front of them all along. They simply needed enough courage to face it. That courage is growing stronger every single day, and with it comes an unexpected sense of peace they haven't felt in a very long time. As this journey continues, your soulmate reaches a realization that leaves them completely speechless. They begin to understand that every obstacle may have delayed the connection, but it never erased it. The more honestly they look at the past, the clearer your presence becomes. Every memory now carries a different meaning, every unanswered question begins finding an answer, and every doubt slowly loses its power. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. There is still one hidden truth your soulmate has not uncovered, and it is connected to a conversation that is about to happen sooner than anyone expects. That conversation will reveal why so many strange events unfolded exactly the way they did, why certain people suddenly disappeared from their path, and why your story is moving toward a moment that neither of you could have predicted. When that final missing piece appears, your soulmate will realize that cutting one person off was only the beginning of a much greater transformation that is still unfolding. Everything changes the moment your soulmate stops asking other people what to believe and starts listening to their own heart. It begins quietly, almost invisibly. They find themselves revisiting moments they once dismissed without a second thought. A smile they forgot. A conversation they misunderstood. A feeling they tried to ignore. Suddenly, those memories no longer seem ordinary, they feel like clues that had been waiting for the right time to make sense. Don't skip, because this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Your soulmate realizes that every person who tried to separate the two of you had one thing in common: they wanted confusion to speak louder than truth. But confusion cannot survive forever. The truth always finds a way to rise. That realization sends a wave of emotion through your soulmate unlike anything they have felt before. They begin wondering how different everything could have been if they had trusted their own instincts from the very beginning. Instead of feeling anger, they feel regret for the time that was lost. Yet that regret quickly transforms into determination. They silently promise themselves they will never again allow another voice to decide how they should see you. Something huge is waiting for you, because the choice they are about to make will surprise even the people closest to them. Your soulmate is no longer searching for excuses, they are searching for answers. Every new discovery confirms what their heart has been trying to tell them all along. The distance between you suddenly feels smaller than ever, even if no words have been exchanged yet. They notice little signs reminding them of you throughout the day, and each reminder strengthens their certainty that this connection was never as broken as it seemed. Don't skip, because another unbelievable revelation is about to unfold. Someone unexpectedly tries to bring your name into a conversation, expecting your soulmate to react the old way. Instead, something completely different happens. Rather than believing another opinion, your soulmate calmly defends the truth they have discovered for themselves. Even they are surprised by how naturally those words come out. In that moment, they realize they are no longer protecting a rumor. They are protecting something they genuinely value. The silence that follows is powerful. The people around them instantly understand that the old influence has completely disappeared. From that day forward, nobody can easily change your soulmate's mind again. Now an even greater mystery is beginning to reveal itself. After walking away from the wrong influence, your soulmate starts noticing opportunities appearing where there were once only obstacles. Conversations seem to happen at the perfect time. Unexpected moments begin connecting like pieces of a much larger picture. They cannot explain why everything suddenly feels different, but deep inside they know they are moving towards something important. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. There is one final truth still hidden beneath the surface, and it has the power to explain why this entire journey unfolded exactly as it did. Your soulmate is closer than ever to uncovering it, but before that happens, someone from the past will make one last unexpected attempt to change the direction of this story. What they do next will leave your soulmate with a decision that cannot be undone, and once that decision is made, the future of this connection will begin moving faster than either of you ever imagined. The unexpected attempt finally arrives, but it unfolds nothing like anyone imagined. The person who once influenced your soulmate returns with carefully chosen words, hoping to reopen a chapter that has already been closed. They speak confidently, believing they still understand how your soulmate thinks. What they fail to notice is that everything has changed. Your soulmate is no longer listening with uncertainty, they are listening with wisdom earned through experience. Every sentence is quietly measured against the truth they have already uncovered, and the gaps become impossible to ignore. Don't skip, because this is the moment where everything begins collapsing for the one who tried to keep you apart. Instead of arguing, your soulmate simply asks a few calm questions, and those questions reveal more than any accusation ever could. The answers don't fit together. The stories contradict each other. The confidence slowly disappears. In complete silence, your soulmate realizes that the final piece of the puzzle has fallen into place. They don't need another explanation. They don't need another opinion. They already know enough to protect what truly matters. Something huge is waiting for you, because after this conversation ends, your soulmate walks away with a level of certainty they have never felt before. As the days move forward, a new feeling begins replacing all the confusion that once filled their heart. Instead of wondering whether they made the right decision, your soulmate begins wondering why they waited so long to make it. They notice how peaceful life feels without constant doubt surrounding every thought. Even the smallest memories involving you begin shining in a completely different light. Moments that once seemed ordinary now carry unexpected meaning. They quietly admit to themselves that your character remained consistent while everyone else's stories kept changing. That realization stays with them everywhere they go. Don't skip, because what happens next is something they never expected. One quiet evening, they come across something that reminds them of you so strongly that they cannot simply move on. They pause. They smile without realizing it. For the first time in a very long time, the thought of reconnecting no longer feels impossible, it feels natural. Deep inside, they understand that cutting one person out of their life didn't create emptiness. It created space for honesty, clarity, and hope to return. Now your soulmate stands on the edge of a decision that could reshape everything. They know they cannot change the past, but they also know they still have the power to change what happens next. Every step they take now feels guided by truth instead of fear, and every new realization brings them closer to a future they once believed had disappeared forever. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. There is still one secret your soulmate has not spoken aloud to anyone, not even to the people they trust the most. That secret has been growing stronger with every passing day, and it is preparing to become impossible to hide. Very soon, an unexpected moment will place your name directly in front of them again, and when it happens, they will finally understand that everything they discovered was leading toward one life-changing choice they can no longer postpone. The moment finally arrives when your soulmate can no longer pretend that these feelings are temporary. What started as a single realization has now become an undeniable truth living quietly inside their heart. Every attempt to distract themselves only leads them back to the same place, you. They begin noticing how different life feels after removing the person who kept filling their mind with doubt. The silence that once felt uncomfortable now feels peaceful. Their thoughts are finally their own, and those thoughts keep asking the same question: what if everything I believed about this connection was wrong? Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. That question refuses to leave them. It follows them through ordinary days, unexpected moments, and quiet nights. Instead of pushing it away, they finally allow themselves to face it honestly. They admit that no matter how much time passes, your presence continues to stand out from everyone else. The more they accept that truth, the more they realize they were never running away from you, they were running away from what they were afraid to admit. As that realization grows stronger, another unexpected change begins unfolding. Your soulmate starts paying attention to small opportunities they once ignored. They become more open to conversations, more willing to listen, and more determined to correct the mistakes that distance created. Don't skip, because this is where the story becomes impossible to predict. Someone unexpectedly mentions your name again, expecting an ordinary reaction, but instead your soulmate becomes completely still. Rather than changing the subject, they quietly ask questions they were never brave enough to ask before. The answers they receive only confirm what their heart has already discovered. Every new detail strengthens their confidence that walking away from the wrong influence was the best decision they could have made. They no longer feel trapped by old opinions or past misunderstandings. Instead, they begin imagining what could happen if honesty finally replaces fear. For the first time, hope feels stronger than hesitation, and that single change starts opening doors that had seemed permanently closed. Now the atmosphere around your soulmate feels completely different. They sense that a turning point is closer than ever, even though they cannot yet see exactly how it will happen. Deep inside, they know the next step cannot be delayed forever. The truth has already transformed the way they think, and soon it will begin transforming the choices they make. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. There is one final moment approaching that will force your soulmate to stop looking backward and finally move forward with complete confidence. When that moment arrives, they will no longer wonder whether they made the right decision by cutting someone out of their life. They will realize that removing the wrong voice was the only reason they were finally able to hear the quiet truth their heart had been trying to tell them all along, and what they decide immediately after that realization will become the biggest surprise of this entire journey. A quiet shift begins long before anyone else notices it. Your soulmate wakes up one morning with a feeling they cannot explain, as if every unanswered question has finally led them to this exact moment. They stop searching for signs from other people because the answers they need are already growing inside their own heart. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. Every doubt that once seemed impossible to overcome now feels smaller than ever. The fear of making the wrong choice slowly disappears, replaced by an unexpected confidence. They finally understand that truth has a different kind of peace. It never needs to force itself to be believed. It simply remains, waiting to be recognized. That realization changes everything. Instead of looking back at what was lost, your soulmate begins focusing on what can still be rebuilt. They know the story between you was never truly finished, it was only interrupted. As the days continue, an unexpected opportunity appears. It seems ordinary on the surface, but your soulmate immediately feels that it carries deeper meaning. A familiar name, a familiar place, or a familiar memory suddenly brings you back into the center of their thoughts. They pause and smile, realizing they are no longer afraid of what they feel. Don't skip, because this is the moment their heart becomes stronger than every old fear. They quietly admit to themselves that cutting the wrong person out of their life was not an ending, it was the beginning of seeing everything clearly. Every conversation they once questioned now makes sense. Every misunderstanding finds its explanation. Every piece of confusion fades into the background. They no longer want to hide from the truth. They want to follow it wherever it leads, even if that path requires courage they never thought they possessed. Now your soulmate stands closer than ever to making the choice they have been avoiding for so long. The walls that once separated this connection are beginning to disappear one by one, and the future no longer feels uncertain, it feels possible. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. One final revelation is still waiting to unfold, and it will arrive when your soulmate least expects it. In that unforgettable moment, they will finally understand that discovering the truth about you did far more than make them cut one person out of their life. It completely transformed the direction of their own. And when they take the next step, everyone who believed this connection would fade away will be left speak.